I'm going to read two poems from this issue. The first one is about my grandfather, and it's titled Tatay, which is a basically a term of affection, a Filipino term of affection for grandfather. It's like the equivalent of Papa. So this is a poem that's actually going to be part of a book-length poem that I'm working on about my Filipino heritage. So can everyone hear me okay, by the way? Yeah, okay. So Tatay. Sometimes the body ignores the mind to survive long enough to father children, remarry, father more children, carry the youngest of them across the Pacific Ocean on wings built out of obeying orders, long enough to survive. Sometimes obedience is a porous membrane, filtering salt water to sustain itself long enough to swim back to the surface. Sometimes we sting ourselves to keep ourselves alive. Mom told me during the war, you kept the books for a rice plantation, a dutiful employee of a Japanese superior who protected you from harm, but profited from your labor, your mind for mathematics. When I would answer your questions on the way to your doctor's appointments, I had to remind myself to say, Opo, to honor you as my elder. Sometimes sometimes the mind must remind the body of its duty. The question and answer followed by long silences down freeways, down city streets. Both of us, men of few words. I wish I had thought of more to say before you died. September 2015. I panicked all the way down the 10 freeway, all the way down winding city streets, all the way back home to the silence of a bedroom with blackout curtains. I panicked at the thought of losing my job, questions crashing into each other in my mind, my body doing what it needed to survive, to just stay still, even with my hands on the steering wheel, my foot on the gas pedal, eyes on the road. I panicked, and that was nearly the end of me. I curled into a ball of oblivion, receded into the darkness of the bedroom, drowned myself to sleep beneath calm blue blankets, and hoped to never wake again, to never face my panic. I wish I had asked you, Tatay, how do you face your worst fear? Mom told me about a train ride when she was little, a widower asking his youngest daughter about the woman he had noticed, asking if that woman would make a good mother, and asking if you ought to marry her. And she said yes, and you did, fathered 3 more children, who gave you 10 more grandchildren, all of us who wept for you in a cathedral in Covina. I had a child once in a dream, a little girl I held in my arms once before she vanished in the sunlight. Sometimes I glimpsed her playing in my backyard before the sun gets in my eyes. I have no children of my own, and that is one reason I panicked. That is my version of dying alone. October 2019, I push my nephew Mason's stroller down Halloween decorated streets, hold my nephew Jordan's hand while he learns to say trick or treat. And in the moonlight, I am not alone. My mind tells my body to remember this. This is why sometimes surviving is enough. Thank you. The second poem is a poem about my dog, Charlie, who right before New Year's of this past year needed surgery on his ear for a hematoma, which is really scary, but he's okay, except his ears used to perk up, and now one ear kind of flops down like this and doesn't stand up anymore. But this is a poem just kind of capturing a moment after, a couple days after the surgery. It's called New Year's Day 2021. Today, Charlie walks like an astronaut, studying the planetary surface. Patches of winter grass, scatters of stone. There's blood on his helmet's visor, a streak of red across his cheek, drawing over an old scar from his escape artist days. But his one good ear stands at attention, and the other, with its stitches, flickers in the solar winds. His tail whips behind him as he sniffs flying creatures that make landfall to peck holes in the earth. Bluest of skies, a yellow gas giant shines on every square inch of his thick winter coat. He'll explore for another few minutes, then some wet food, antibiotics, pain medication. He'll dream he's in deep space, his full belly rising and falling like footsteps across an unexplored planet. Thank you.